First question today for the panel and for your consideration is, in light of our theme, what do you believe is the present state of worship within the local church? And what needs to be done, if anything, to address your stated challenges? In light of our theme, what do you believe is the present state of worship within the local church? And what needs to be done, if anything, to address your stated challenges?
I think that one of the challenges for today's church is to understand that worship is not a service, it's a result. And it's a result of a relationship that's pre-existing to those who come into the place of worship. One of the subtle things I believe that has happened to the church is that the enemy has slipped into our worship so that we are worshiping worship and not worshiping God. We are worshiping the atmosphere, and the atmosphere becomes the end, that becomes the target. And what happens is that you wind up neurologically having an endorphin rush that you mistake for the Spirit, because you're trying to get to an atmospheric through genuflection and through animated worship, and not understand through enough spiritual maturity and discernment that you're not worshiping God anymore, but a projection of your own desire to get to a kind of atmosphere to the degree where you become addicted. And people leave our churches and make a very true statement, said, I want to go higher. Wow. And it's because they want to continue to get the high of worshiping in a particular atmosphere, because they're worshiping the worship. I think that's a danger we have to watch out for. I think it's very important that we who are worship leaders, pastor, teachers, be very careful that the worship atmosphere doesn't get contaminated by the projection of our own ego desires and needs, things that were so adequately or more than adequately expressed by Dr. Guns this morning. So I think it's extremely important that we be careful that we don't worship worship, but that we worship God, and that's the result of a pre-existing life that's committed to Jesus Christ. And in that pre-existing life in Christ, we gather to worship through different experiences. Some Sundays we may not feel that it's a matter of the euphoria. Sometimes the worship may bring a spirit of conviction. So we can't always be trying to get to a particular kind of atmosphere, because it's a result of a life in Christ. It's not a service. And we have to be very careful that we don't worship atmospherics in the place of worshiping the true I am.